So, there is one question that British cruise passengers need answered.
Which is best, P&O or Marella?
So this is my brother Matt, who had a great time on board P&O Iona in the Norwegian fjords and is now trying Marella for the first time and on his second ever cruise holiday.
Who better to answer this than someone who has only done a cruise on P&O and a cruise on Marella?
And in this video we'll show you the start of this signature Marella cruise favourite around the Canary Islands and why this wasn't the start to the holiday we wanted.
An early morning flight from Bournemouth got this adventure underway, and the 4-hour TUI flight saw us leave the rainy and flooded UK behind.
This was an easy flight and we marvelled at Mount Teide as we approached Tenerife.
We soon landed and voila! Sunshine. Now that's a great start.
The brilliant Marella Explorer 2 was to be our home from home this week. So excited for your holiday, Matt?
Yeah.
But before we could start this Marella adventure, there was the new EES system to navigate at Tenerife Airport. So how's that going?
So we've just navigated the EES, the entry and exit system here at Tenerife South Airport. It's been a bit of palaver. There's 28 machines here, but a lot of them weren't working, so there were some queues and a bit of confusion. Those that were working, a lot of them actually broke down while we were using them, and they had to be rebooted, so that added further delays. I guess we've been here about 45 minutes right now. The process itself seems pretty convoluted. Scan your passport, get your photo taken, and then take your fingerprints. The fingerprint readers aren't that good. My poor brother had to have them done manually at the passport control itself, where your passport gets stamped. And they ask you a whole load of questions like, have you got enough money? Have you got somewhere to go? All that kind of stuff. Have you got a right to be in the EU? Have you got an EU citizenship card? There's a whole load of questions. It's pretty convoluted and it takes a bit of time. I'd say each entry probably takes 5 to 10 minutes to work your way through. That's when the system works. Anyway, we're through now and we are going to go and join our cruise. But it's, an interesting start and an interesting welcome back into the EU.
Exiting the airport, we soon found ourselves on board our coach. We took the 45-minute journey to Santa Cruz and the ship soon came into view.
Embarkation was easy. In fact, it was very easy, and we collected our cruise cards from a tent and registered a credit card too. Then we went on board and found our cabins. These were just fine and we were pleased with our allocation. So Matt, do you like your cabin?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, thanks. I settled in and it's a beautiful double bed. Everything's there that I need and I think it's going to be a good trip.
Nice one. Then some food on the pool deck from the fabulous snack shack.
And Si woofed down a Marella burger, which he still maintains are the best burgers at sea, and the cocktails soon arrived.
First cocktail of the cruise is a mojito. Here we go. Yep, it's bitter. That's what you want a mojito to be, big one, that bitterness there. I could do a bit more rum in there, but there's some good minty flavours in there, so I'm going to give it a 3.5 out of 5.
We were excited for this long-awaited cruise with Matt. It had been 2 years since he travelled with us to the Norwegian fjords.
We began to explore the ship, and the similarities with Explorer 1 made it feel home from home, and we were pleased that Marella favourites like the squid and anchor were still on board. Matt headed back to his cabin saying he needed a sleep, so Nettie and I stayed in the squid and anchor and enjoyed a glass of wine. And this is where we got our first surprise. It's really nice to be back aboard Marella. We've not been on Marella for a couple of years and we're sat here in the squid and anchor of all places. Absolutely love it. It's got a really good vibe. Things have changed though. I'll tell you what, the all-inclusive sort of drinks and everything else that Marella are famed for, well, they've certainly changed since we've been on Marella last, and the selection of what's included on the all-inclusive drinks menu is a lot less than we were last on Marella. So we've already been caught out by that and run up a bill of £7.90 already. Need to read the menus a bit more carefully. So what we'll do is we'll show some of these and go through some of the changes. In fact, I might make another video on that. But never mind, it's all good. We love Marella so much. The ship has such a great vibe. Anyway, cheers. So let's take a look at the drinks menus in the squid and anchor. Cheers, Nettie. Heading back to the cabin, Nettie spotted the yellow cow statue, and you know what happens next.
There were nice views across Santa Cruz, but those cases needed unpacking.
Darkness fell and we headed up to the Marketplace buffet, which was serving Asian food as its speciality menu. So let's take a look at the menu. And did you enjoy your meal, Nettie? So Nettie, we've eaten in the buffet tonight. What do you think?
Well, sadly, Matt's not very well, so we've had to come on our own. And so we came to the buffet. We were going to eat in the main dining room, but we've come to the buffet today. And it's sort of Chinese style food today. I had a beef bulgogi, spiced pork, belly pork, and sweet and sour chicken with some stir-fried chicken, Chinese vegetables. And actually, I can say it was absolutely divine. So tasty. The meat was tender and full of flavour. I really thoroughly enjoyed it. And then after that, I had a cheese plate. Marella always do amazing cheese plates. So I had this little cheese plate with a bread roll and butter, and I thoroughly enjoyed my meal and chased down with a glass of wine.
It's quite weird, isn't it? We were on Spectrum of the Seas before Christmas in Asia, with all the specialist Asian cuisine. And this is Asian night here, and actually it's been pretty decent, hasn't it?
It's absolutely amazing. I thoroughly enjoyed my meal tonight.
Thumbs up, Marella.
Matt sadly wasn't well at all. He needed rest and sleep, and a lot of it. We were quite concerned about him, so decided to check in on him after he'd rested for a couple of hours.
Poor Matt, he really was in a poor way. He managed to get a meal down him after the mandatory muster drill, and we put him back to bed.
The sail away party was getting underway and looked as though it was going to be a lively affair, but Nettie and I took ourselves away to somewhere quiet to reflect on our start to the holiday. Well, it's 10:15. I can't believe I've been up since 2:45 this morning. How am I still awake? I think it's probably the wine probably helps. So this is Explorer 2. We've not done it before. Obviously it's very like Explorer, except there are some subtle differences, and this is one of them. This is where the Mediterranean bar is on Explorer, except there's no bar. There's just this kind of veranda area where you can sit and have a glass of wine, and the buffet is just the other side there where the Mediterranean bar normally is, but there are some self-service sort of beers and wines in there, so it's quite a nice way to end the evening, and it's been a couple of years since we've been on Marella. What's changed? Well, apart from the bar menu that caught us out earlier on, it's nice to see Music Unlimited still playing here for Marella. They were the band that were playing when we went and did the Far East cruise. They're signing from Singapore. That's the same people belting out the same hits, as 2 years ago. Anyway, first day on the cruise. It's been a bit eventful. My brother's not been well, but he's tucked up in bed and he's feeling a bit brighter. La Gomera tomorrow. Hopefully, that's an amazing day. There had been a full programme of entertainment this night, what with bands and musicians and a show in the theatre as well as quizzes, but with all that was going on, we just couldn't face it.
We began to relax just a little as we sailed away from Santa Cruz.
This should have been a beautiful moment, but concern for Matt was all we could discuss. If he didn't begin to recover, this was going to be our shortest cruise ever, and we may need to get him off the ship for some specialist medical attention, and our sleep wasn't good. Waking up to the beautiful sailing to La Gomera was a good start to day 2 of this Marella Canary Islands cruise, and we wanted to explore this port that we'd never been to before, but yesterday's concerns over Matt's health soon became our key focus once again.
Here we are in La Gomera.
It's a nice view to wake up to in the morning, isn't it? Beautiful.
Absolutely gorgeous.
So we're in La Gomera today, which is somewhere we've never been before. But we're not going to be here for very long because Marella are only here for a couple of hours today, unfortunately. So they've put the game plan down at 8 o'clock and we've all got to be back on board for 1 p.m. this afternoon. So it's not going to allow us to do so much self-exploring. But before we do that, we have a little bit of a situation to attend to, don't we?
We do, yes.
Yeah, we need to follow up on yesterday's medical situation with my brother, and hopefully he's had a decent night and is feeling better this morning. And that may change all our plans if he needs further care and attention. So we'll keep you updated on that, and then hopefully he's well and we can get ashore and go and explore that lovely place there because it looks lovely.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
Looks gorgeous.
Anyway, see what happens. What an exciting day it's going to be, I think. Stay tuned.
It was a glorious day and the sun was shining. Matt was thankfully feeling better and brighter. Seems that sleep was the medicine he needed. We all made our way to the buffet for breakfast and Matt tucked in.
We were ready to head ashore at 10 a.m. We wondered if Matt felt up to a walk ashore. He said he'd like to, so we took it easy as we disembarked and headed ashore into San Sebastian in La Gomera.
So we are ashore in La Gomera, and Matt, are you feeling a bit better today, mate?
Yeah, I'm feeling 100% better than yesterday. I've had a rest.
That's really good. Okay, so we've got a couple of hours, probably no more than about 2.5 hours here ashore. So let's go and see what we can see in San Sebastian and La Gomera.
18 degrees here today,
Perfect
so
weather.
far.
Perfect weather. Lovely, much better than the rain in the UK.
Oh yeah, definitely. Winter sunshine. This was a shortish walk to the terminal where we saw signs for the beach. This looked a beautiful place with cloud hanging in the valleys high above the town.
Obligatory photos to show that we did get ashore, and then a discussion about how far we would walk and explore given Matt's health.
We're just going along, we're heading towards the beach, and yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what the beach looks like. It looks absolutely gorgeous, this area at the moment.
So Nettie's loving all this geology here. Whedon's next top geologist. There's all the volcanic depositions from subsequent eruptions are all visible. Almost like
They're
strata.
absolutely lovely layers, aren't there?
Absolutely fantastic.
Gorgeous.
Certainly a pretty place.
It was, thankfully, only a very short walk to the beach.
Well, we've got to the beach. It's a stone beach. And look, looks lovely. Absolutely gorgeous. And if you look behind me, look at these lovely rocks. Look, beautiful. Beautiful rocks. We soaked up this place and sat and watched the waves. There was a small esplanade here and a bar too. It was closed though, but I suppose it was a bit early. It was quite a spot though, and locals were swimming in the bay.
Heading back to the marina next, and the stunning yachts and boats were outshone by the abundant marine life in the harbour. Loads and loads of fish, and some unusual ones too. This one apparently is a trumpet fish. Who knew?
I was in my element identifying all the different species of fish. This gave time for a rest too.
However, the distance into San Sebastian was thankfully short, and within a few minutes we found ourselves in the town centre with its lovely black sand beaches.
A black sand beach. Oh, careful, I caught that on camera.
Some beach pickies taken, and then a short amble across to the adjacent town square and high street.
Shopping time then. Souvenirs to buy of course. And we whiled away the time browsing and mooching in the many souvenir shops. Souvenir shopping success. Look, I've got a nice purse and a fridge magnet.
So look, show us then.
Nice leather purse
Cool.
and
The obligatory fridge magnet.
fridge magnet.
Hey. Right, shop done.
Yay! So where next?
This was a beautiful high street, had some ornate lamplights, stunning courtyards, and the incredible Church of the Assumption. And this church dates back to Columbus times, and is said to be where Columbus and his crew prayed before sailing to the Americas. It is simply gorgeous inside with ornate carvings and stunning works of art. It's visually striking and leaves an impression for sure, and it's a place where we just had to light a candle for our lost loved ones. Shall we grab some coffee and cake?
Now that sounds like a great idea, and we found a nice spot in one of San Sebastian's many courtyards, and the coffee, cake and cookies were delicious. You like this place, don't you, Si?
So San Sebastian here in La Gomera is beautiful. What a stunning place. Found a lovely little cafe called Dolce Cafe. There's the sign on the window there, and we've just had coffee. So Matt and I had coffee. Nettie had some black tea thing, and we had cookies and cakes as well. And for the three of us, total price €10.70. What a bargain. Really lovely setting. Castle in the background. What a nice way to start our time here in La Gomera.
Matt was holding up. We hadn't walked far and our pace was slow.
Well, we've just had a lovely coffee, tea and cake, and we've just now seen this right next to the cafe that we were in. Look, beautiful castle and surrounding gardens. I think what we'll do is we're going to have a little look, see if we can actually explore it, go inside.
We wandered into these pretty gardens and got up close to the castle tower.
Update on the castle. Oh, unfortunately we can't go inside. Look. Oh, that's a shame. That would have been nice to go and have a look. Oh well, there's lots of lovely gardens to explore instead.
These gardens were lovely and filled with birdsong. The castle tower itself dates from 1450 and was built by the Spanish who colonised the island. It saw action in the rebellion of the Gomeros, who were the indigenous peoples of the island. They failed in their siege of the castle, and this ultimately led to the Spanish fully taking control and sadly fully repressing the indigenous population, with many of them executed and sold into slavery.
We were just opposite the ship and found another gorgeous black sand beach where we enjoyed walking the shoreline and sat taking in the view. A statue of Christ towered on the cliff above us. Si couldn't resist exploring the groins used to protect the beaches and encountered some interesting crabs as he clambered over the rocks.
This was only a short day in La Gomera and we had to be back on board at 1:30. But Matt had had enough already and was tiring now.
So we headed back around the marina, resting on the way to gaze at the superb fish in the harbour. And this was quite a sight, with crabs spotted at the harbour side too.
Rested, we made our way back along the dock and on board Explorer 2.
A bit of lunch in the buffet next, before Matt decided he needed more sleep and rest. He'd done well considering.
The ship was soon sailing away after lunch, and we were heading to Madeira and the city of Funchal. The sail away from La Gomera was beautiful, and we sailed up the west coast of Tenerife also, with Mount Teide towering above us.
The ship's band, the Collective, were getting everyone into the party mood, and Si and I wanted a bit of peace and found a super secret, secluded spot on deck 8, where we pulled up 2 chairs, grabbed a beer and read our books. We had this spot all to ourselves.
It's been a good day so far. Nice to see Matt recovering. He gave us a bit of a scare last night.
Oh, didn't he? Yes.
But he's made a good recovery. He was able to get into town and back today, but he's back in his room sleeping now. Definitely needs that, doesn't he?
He does. He's enjoyed himself today, though.
He's enjoyed himself. He's making a good recovery from last night.
Yeah.
So we've just found a little spot where it's just us. Look at this here.
It was busy everywhere else, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Couldn't find anywhere. Couldn't find a spot at all.
So we're sailing up to Funchal in Madeira, and as you can imagine, the pool decks are rammed and the music's going, and there's no sunbeds and all the usual stuff you get on one of these sort of sea day type afternoons. And we've just found a little spot here. There's just the 2 of us. It's on deck 8. It's at the aft of the ship.
Yeah.
And it's just for us.
Yeah. So we're going to go get a couple of drinks in a minute, aren't we?
Look at the views though. Look over here.
Gorgeous.
Look at that there. That's Mount Teide on Tenerife. And spin it around, spin it around, spin it around, spin it around, spin it around.
Gorgeous.
Look at that. Oh yeah. That is what cruising is
All about.
Anyway, it's Dress to Impress night tonight.
It is.
See how it goes. Some Marella. So it's not all posh, posh, posh.
No. Also, I want to go and see the show tonight as well.
Okay, let's do that.
So that sounds good.
Stay tuned.
This, though, was a lovely moment, and we relaxed and watched the world go by from the aft of the ship. It really was like we had our own private balcony. Nobody came through, and we just soaked up the sunshine.
Until the clouds came over though, and the temperature suddenly dropped, and we noticed a distinct sway of the ship as the seas got rougher. So back to the cabin it was, where we got changed and ready for our evening. Good
evening.
It's Dress to Impress night tonight. Hey, the ship's a bit swayy, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Swell on
Can
out
you
there.
see out there?
Okay, at any rate, well, that'll make the interesting evening as we stagger down the corridor. It's not the wine.
Wow,
yeah. Okay, so Dress to Impress night on Marella. We remember these fondly, don't we?
We do, yeah.
Yeah, they're different to some of the other cruise lines' formal nights, aren't they, you know?
Yeah,
they're not quite so posh, are they?
No, they're not so stuffy.
Not so stuffy,
No.
not so stuffy. I mean, you know, Royal Caribbean, we just did in October. Nobody bothered, did they really?
They didn't, no. We were quite surprised at that, weren't we?
Norwegian,
Yeah.
nobody really bothered.
No.
But I mean, obviously you go on P&O, something like that, everybody always makes a big thing about it.
Yeah.
I think Marella sort of cut it sort of somewhere in the middle, don't they?
Yeah, a bit in between. I think most people do dress up. It'll be interesting to see how many people do dress up.
Yeah, well, just make some kind of effort. That's how I remember. People generally make some kind of effort.
They do.
And everybody has a good time.
Yeah.
So, hopefully tonight will be one of those and we'll go down memory lane.
Yeah, we're going to look good, hopefully. And we're going to go, I'm going to go see the show tonight.
Oh, yeah, you're going to show tonight.
Full Swing it's called. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. That'll be good.
We'll do your review afterwards.
Yeah, definitely.
Anyway, hopefully we can get into somewhere to sit down and dine. And
because we don't book, do you?
You
You
can't
don't book on
That's
this one.
one of the things about it, unless you do speciality dining. So
That's it.
You can't reserve or book dining for these. So hopefully we can get in somewhere, have a nice meal, enjoy the show, and have a good dress to impress them. So stick with us and find out how we get on.
Yay! We checked on Matt and he was up, dressed and ready to eat. The ship though was swaying noticeably.
Or you'd had too many lagers already.
We hit the main dining room and were seated next to a window. So what's on the menu tonight, Si? Decisions.
But the French onion soup soon arrived and the service was quick, with the main courses arriving soon afterwards.
Good meal, Matt.
Very good meal, Si.
How was the meal now?
Absolutely delicious.
What'd you have?
I had French onion soup to start off with, and that was so tasty. That was really nice. I really enjoyed that. And then for my main course, it was tagliatelle, and it came with prawns, and it had a white wine sauce with lemon, and it was so tasty.
Cool. Here's the dessert menu.
Yeah, and here's dessert. What are we going to have for that?
And the puddings arrived and were quickly scoffed.
So, Nettie, the pudding.
Well, I had Queen of Puddings.
Queen of puddings.
Queen of Puddings, and it's described as having like a baked egg with a raspberry, raspberry jam, and a baked meringue on the top. Mine, it was delicious. I really enjoyed it. It was like an egg custardy type thing down at the bottom, and it had this lovely meringue on the top. But mine was missing the jam. Matt had jam in his, didn't you, Matt? You had jam in his. I didn't have any jam in mine. It was absolutely delicious. I enjoyed it, and I would have given it 5 out of 5. But because it's missing the jam, unfortunately, it'll have to be 4 out of 5.
Mark down for no jam.
Yeah, that's it.
Then some group pickies before we headed into the ship, and a classy pianist was playing an aperitif, and one in Flutes Bar too. We loved the live music on Marella.
Then into the Broadway Theatre for the show. But first, the captain's introduction.
Well, a piece of advice. If you feel a little bit seasick or nauseous, usually green apple helps a lot. Yeah? Especially if it's in a martini. Yeah?
And the senior officers paraded out before the show got underway. The show was called In Full Swing and was the showcast interpretation of the swing and brakpak movement, and included lots of classic songs and well-polished dance routines. And after the show, we retired to the coffee pot to give our review. So we've just seen In Full Swing, and here is our Cook Explorer show aficionado Nettie with her review. Go for it.
Well, I think I've been spoiled because when I was on Spectrum of Seas and I saw Silk Road, that I actually said was the best show I've seen at sea, and I still think that. So obviously, so I've been spoiled.
What about Full Swing?
Well, Full Swing, that is, yeah, I think they're very talented. The people were very talented, and I think so brave. Some of the lifts that they did, and the ship is rocking tonight, and so was the show. But no, it was like there was a few like they sort of a few like slips and things like that, which is understandable with with the ship moving, rocking and stuff.
It really is moving.
Yeah, I think they were very brave for doing those lifts and things like that. But I'd sort of say I think they're very talented, but wasn't really my cup of tea tonight.
God, you sound like me. So, second time Cruz and Matt and our celebrity show reviewer. Matt, go for it. What do you think of In Full Swing?
Well, I'm in full agreement with Annette. Like the Full Swing, it was a very good show. Good choreography, kept simple, dancing wise. Plenty of athleticism, in their style. Good singing, an all-round professional performance. And I can't comment negatively at all. Like, I enjoyed the show from start to finish.
Positive review, love that. Okay, thanks, Matt.
And now for the grumpy one.
Well, what do I say? In Full Swing, the ship is rocking. I mean, it really is rocking. There's a real swell on, and I think, as Nessie says, the lifts were quite risky, actually. Put my health and safety hat on. And what I do like about Marella is they have those celebrity dance couples. We don't know their names yet, but they brought on those sort of semi-professional dancers. We've had Kevin and Gabriella in the past, and Stanislav and Tatiana. Don't know who these two are, but they were quite good. But he did nearly drop her on the first lift. but that was all down to the ship's movement. I mean, it isn't my cup of tea, but I do like a bit of Brat Pack, so the music was good. I do think I agree with Nettie, is that we've been spoilt with good theatres on modern ships, and the sound quality and the lighting and everything else like that. Well, this ship is over 30 years old, and it did feel like that compared to what we've had in more recent cruises. But, you know, overall, yeah. It is the only show, though, I will say, I've actually seen my wife look at her watch halfway through. So there you go. So there's a first. There you go. Cheers.
After the show, we hit the aperitif bar for a cocktail.
First cocktail of the cruise, tell us what you think. Well, one first taste and you just got to have more, you know. Absolutely delicious.
And we had a very important task to perform.
So in a new Cooked Explore feature, this is a request slot. So there you go. Okay, so Giles from Stafford wrote to us and said, "Dear Simon and Nettie, you are both clearly a pair of plonkers. Would you kindly review a Rockin' Rita with lime for us?" Giles, we hate to disappoint. So, here we go.
No problem. Hi, everybody's talking to you. I will beat up them all up.
Salt around the glass. Oh, that's nice, isn't it?
Oh, this reminds me of a margarita, which is one of my favourite drinks. Really nice. I love the salt around the glass. I love the lime. I think it's very nice.
5 out of 5 from me.
5 out of 5 for me too. Thank you.
The ship had a great vibe this evening, but Matt needed to return to his bed again, and Nettie and I hit the golf theme bar called the 18th Hole.
Some more cocktails sunk and a craving for chocolate.
Then table tennis, of course. I mean, why wouldn't you dress up posh to play ping pong? And the rivalry between us got into full swing, pun totally intended.
There was a movie showing on the pool deck. Shall we? Nah. Cocktails in the Indigo Club are what we need, and we skipped and danced our way into the ship's onboard nightclub.
Oh dear, nobody's dancing. It's an empty dance floor. Cafe Mambo it isn't, even though the band are belting out hit after hit. There was some toe tapping and hip sway in action though, so we better just drink some more cocktails then. That dance floor still looks a bit quiet, and the band look a bit worried.
Dance in your chair then, Si. And you do look daft. Look, people are beginning to dance now. You've probably scared them with your dancing in the chair. And the party got underway properly.
Oh no, my legs aren't working well now. We better turn in, I suppose. So that's Dress to Impress stomach done. We're turning in. It's getting late now.
We're shattered.
It's a good vibe tonight though, isn't it?
It is absolutely amazing vibe. We've been in the Indigo Bar.
Oh, there's a party going on up there, lots of dancing.
Yeah.
That Music Unlimited are playing in there, aren't they? They're
very good.
Very good.
Yeah.
Lots of people up dancing and people really having a good time.
Yeah.
People have generally made an effort as well. I always said to Nettie earlier on, I was thinking about on Marella ships is that all the ladies, they all make that extra special effort. They all look $1 million. And even the blokes put a shirt on.
There's one lady there, she was wearing feathers tonight.
Yeah,
I've never seen that before. It looked pretty good though, didn't it?
And like every Marella ship, there's always stacks going on. There's pianists, there's live bands, there's quizzes, there's so much going on.
So much, yeah.
Really good, really enjoyed it. Thumbs up, Marella again. This is just how
Marella.
we remembered it as well, isn't it? Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah, really
Love
good.
being on Marella again.
Yeah.
Brilliant. So let's take a look at this evening's full entertainment programme.
So back to our waiting towel animal and chocolates in the cabin. Brilliant.
Day 3 of the Marella Canaries cruise saw us return to the wonderful city of Funchal in Madeira.
We docked at 10 a.m-ish so we could sleep off last night's cocktails before breakfast, and Matt looked a little brighter again this day.
Good morning from lovely Funchal here in Madeira, and really we've been here before, we know it's beautiful. One of the things about what's happened this week with my brother is that we know we need to slow the pace of the holiday right down so that he can recover properly, and he's much better again this morning. He seems to be making a really good recovery from his episode on the first night, and hopefully we'll be back to something a bit near normal Cook's Explore place later on in the holiday. But today we're probably going to have to, it's been here a couple of hours, we're still not ashore, which is definitely not like us. We have booked the Toboggan later on. We did that before we came. We did wonder about whether we cancel it, but I think he's well enough to do it, so we will go ahead with that. and stick with us and see how we get on as we go up Monte and down on the Toboggan later on here in Funchal. Should be a laugh. This was a full port day with back aboard time at 9 p.m. Our trip to Monte was booked at 2 p.m. We knew the cable car was not running in the city due to a prolonged period of maintenance. We had though booked a guide to take us up the mountain through Vegueta. I'll post a link in the description.
Matt needed a bit more rest before we took our trip up to Monte. Whilst he slept for an extra hour, we called home. And Si, where are you off to?
So this is really unusual because we're on the ship and everybody's ashore. So what we thought we'd do a little bit of a ship tour and show you around Marella Explorer 2. Don't worry, we're not showing that now, and we'll post that video separately, but it was weird being some of the few passengers who remained on the ship, but it was very peaceful.
When Matt woke up, we had an early lunch from the snack shack before heading ashore.
Our Vegueta instructions told us to walk into the city to be collected, so we took the 25-minute walk along the dockside and into the city.
And who did we bump into but Nuno from Madeira Motorcycle Tours, who took us on an awesome trip last time we were here. Check out this video if you've not seen it.
After saying hi to Nuno, we continued walking past the Ronaldo statue and museum. Obligatory photos taken, we then wandered into the city to our indicated collection point.
Our guide Marco, however, had gone to the cruise ship, and it seems that we were sent the wrong instructions. No matter, a few WhatsApp messages later and we were collected from where our instructions indicated, and we were being whisked through the city and up the steep mountain roads to Monte.
Marco explained about how the community of Monte came into existence, with people seeking refuge from pirate raids, and the vision of Our Lady of Monte, which was thought to save many residents of Funchal from the terrors of a particularly savage pirate raid. Getting up and down the mountain, however, was an arduous task, relying on mules and carts until the age of the steam train. The train route was straight, and today's roads also follow this route. The train, however, ran into difficulties after several accidents caused by brakes failing on the particularly steep descent. Then step in some entrepreneurial locals who offered guided transit down the mountain's cobbled streets in wicker sleds, and a Madeira legend was born. Well, we're here at Monte, and we did finally get picked up by our Vegueta guide. Bit of a confusion over our instructions. Our instructions told us to go out of the cruise dock and then meet around by the Ronaldo statue just across the road from that, and our guide picked us up. Actually, well, he went to pick us up at the cruise terminal. Anyway, bit of WhatsApp messaging and we got picked up. We've had an interesting drive up the mountain, and this looks like a beautiful place here, and we've learned about the history of the place. We've learned that this was originally a sort of a steam train up the mountain for the wealthy that lived at the top, up at this beautiful area of Madeira, and then the train often had plenty of accidents because the brakes would regularly fail, and that's how the toboggans that we're going to go in, that's how they came into existence, and it's been a tradition ever since, because you could take the train up and you would take the toboggan down where you didn't have to worry about those brakes failing, although you do have to worry about the soles on the feet of the soles of the shoes of the feet of the people that are guiding your toboggan down the hill. Anyway, really looking forward to this. Our guide is Marco. He's just coming down there now. There he is there, and he's going to give us a tour around this fabulous place.
Arriving in Monte, we were blown away by how beautiful this place was. Marco was keen to take us into the museum in the old train station, where he continued the fascinating story of this area and its traditions. This small museum is well worth your time, and it brought the history of Monte to life. Then a climb up to the Church of Our Lady of Monte, and at a height of 589 metres above sea level, the views down across Funchal were spectacular.
This impressive church was the second church on this site to celebrate the vision of Our Lady of Monte, and was constructed in 1741. It is a stunning church with an impressive outlook across the city. Inside it is equally stunning, with beautiful artwork, sculptures and carvings. These include the statue robes of Our Lady of Monte. You can't fail to be impressed by the majesty and sanctity of the place, and inside is also a shrine to the exiled Charles I of Austria. Charles, who was the last emperor of the Austrian-Hungarian Empire, found himself in exile in Monte following the assassination of his uncle Franz Ferdinand at the start of the First World War. He was a deeply religious man, and miracles of healing have been associated with him following his death in 1922, and he was beatified as a saint by the Catholic Church in 2004. His tomb and shrine are clearly a special place for many, many people.
We left the church and posed for a group picture on the stairs that marked the end of a pilgrimage for so many, and then wandered to explore the other locations of this mountainside paradise.
We could see the famous toboggans manned by the smartly dressed Carreros and people setting off on their adventure down to the streets of Funchal.
We had more to see though, and wandered down alongside the botanical gardens and the out-of-action cable car. Here again are some spectacular views across the city.
Then a walk around to Barbosa's chapel. Marco referred to this as the Cursed Chapel, saying that it got its name following numerous disasters that have caused damage or even destroyed it. These have included forest fires that have spread to the chapel, with the heat damage clearly shown in the crucifix on the altar. It also included the chapel's destruction by floods in 2010, which also sadly claimed many lives in the area. More recently, a falling tree, which sadly also claimed the lives of 13 people. The chapel has always been restored and repaired, and also includes moving memorials to those who lost their lives.
It was then time to head back to where the Carreros would take us back down the mountain. Marco bought us tickets and said he would meet us at the bottom. We joined a short queue and waited to be called. We were soon aboard our toboggan. Marco took pictures of us, and before we knew it, we were careering down the streets, guided skillfully by the two Carreros. We will post another video showing the entire 2-kilometre route, but for this video, here are a few clips.
Wow, this was a brilliant ride, and the skill of the Carreros is quite something. It was a pleasure to tip these guys at the bottom. Their bill for new shoes must be quite something after all.
What a great experience this was, and the photographers who snap your pictures on the way down were eagerly trying to sell you the photos at the bottom.
There are also souvenir shops and a cafe too at the bottom, and we indulged whilst we waited for the message from Marco to go to the taxi rank.
Marco collected us, then drove us back into Funchal. We asked not to be dropped back at the ship, but at Funchal's historic market. Here we browsed the brilliant shops and stalls and grabbed some souvenirs before we began the slow and steady walk back to the ship. As we marvelled at the pretty and picturesque streets of Funchal, one thing caught Si's eye.
Not done this for a while, but a gelato a day keeps the doctor away.
Yum yum, this was delicious, and it also provided a convenient rest stop for Matt, of course. There was no rush back to the ship, and we slowly mooched through these gorgeous streets filled with people and market traders, and the street side bar seemed like a perfect second rest stop and a chance to do some Cooks Explore consumer research.
When in Madeira, what are we doing?
Drinking Madeira wine.
Okay, give us your review.
Right. Oh yes. Well, I've gone for the sweet Madeira wine, and
It's very dark.
Yeah, it's very dark, but it tastes just like sherry. To me, it does anyway.
Out of 5?
Oh, 5 out of 5. I could suck a few of these.
Compare it
Really
to the
nice.
dry one. Look at the difference in the colour. There you go. Anyway,
Yay.
Madeira
Cheers.
wine review, new feature. Cheers.
This was so chilled, and we watched the world go by knowing that we didn't have to rush back to the ship. There was also some football on the TV too, so definitely no rush then.
Our amble from the bar back to the ship was leisurely. Funchal has such a great vibe, we'd never tire of it.
And eventually we made it back to the cruise ship, and as we looked back to the city, we marvelled at the sight of mist and cloud nestling in the mountain valleys high above the city. Truly magical.
Once back on board, it was time for a meal, and the onboard Pizzeria Nonna's was our venue of choice this evening. This meal isn't specialty dining and is included in the cruise fare.
We tucked into some focaccia bread for starters, and then Matt decided he needed a challenge.
So what we're going for is episode 1 of Matt versus Food. That's for me. Thank you. Tagliatelle. Here's the pizzas. Thank you very much. Matt versus Food, round 1.
Matt then got to business.
Matt versus Food, part 2, calzone. Oh, go for it, Matt.
The food was good, but what was Matt's verdict?
Matt versus Food looks like Matt won. So tell us about the food, Matt.
Oh, it's the best menu that I've seen since I've been on the ship. I love pasta, Italian food, and my first experience of, what's it called again?
Tagliatelle, that was?
No, tagliatelle.
Oh, calzone.
Calzone, yeah. The first calzone I've ever had. And it was just so full of good, nourishing ingredients, and the taste was specifically good.
Certainly looked good. You wolfed it. 2 clean plates.
I recommend it to anybody.
There you go, thumbs up for Nonna's.
So Nonna's was a culinary hit, and we'd agree with Matt, it was tasty. But a tired and exhausted Matt took himself to bed, and Nettie and I took time up on deck to admire the Funchal nighttime skyline over a glass of wine.
Isn't Funchal beautiful? Look at it.
Gorgeous, look at it.
Lovely at night. Lovely meal with Nonna's, and we're not going to have too late at night tonight, but we're going to go and see what's on the ship.
We then took ourselves into the Indigo Club.
You in chilling out, Miss C? It's quiet, isn't it?
This club slowly filled as the house band The Collective played a set based around guitar solos and rock classics. It was a great set. Afterwards, we returned to our cabin to reflect on our day.
So we've had a great day. It's been a funny old day. Obviously, we took it fairly slow because obviously we want Matt to recover. The toboggan thing was fun, and it was good having a guide again, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. They're so informative. We learnt a lot of history, didn't we?
Yeah, about the history of the area and the toboggan, how the toboggan came about, and the
church was really interesting, wasn't it?
You know, the shrine to Our Lady there, and all the history behind that was fascinating.
Yeah.
Again, another one of those days where, you know, getting a guide and somebody local to give you all that local insight was really worth it, wasn't it?
Definitely, yeah.
And Madeira's gorgeous, isn't it?
It is gorgeous. And the toboggan, it really was fun, wasn't it?
Load of fun.
It really was fun. And how shiny was that road?
And then you know, we stuffed our face tonight, great pizza, and then tonight the ship's full of fun again, isn't it? So,
Went to see some live music. It was
live
all like
band.
rock, wasn't it?
Every
Rock music.
Morella ship has a collective, in inverted commas, but this one was a good one, wasn't it?
Really good. They were doing guitar solos,
Guitar
weren't they?
solo set, wasn't it? And
yeah.
very, very good quality. Enjoyed that, and a few glasses of wine. So another great night here
definitely.
on Marella Explorer 2. Tomorrow is the day at sea. I wonder what that's going to be like, actually. Sea days were always a bit manic on Marella, weren't they?
Yeah, very busy.
Very busy.
Yeah, you can't usually find somewhere to sit, can
you
you?
can get a postage stamp of space normally. That's my memories of Marella Sea days.
Yeah, we'll see.
Hope we did find that secret spot on deck 8, didn't we? So hopefully that's available for us. Right, join us tomorrow.
Bye. So here is the ship's full entertainment programme for this evening.
You are on a Marella cruise around the Canary Islands, and it's a sea day, so what's it like? Well, let us show you our experience on Marella Explorer 2 as we sailed from Madeira to Arrecife in Lanzarote.
So Marella cruises are typically port intensive, and this cruise, like other Marella cruises we've enjoyed, only had one sea day. This is a chance to either chill, relax and unwind, or to engage in the full programme of ship's entertainment, or a bit of both, of course.
So the night before, you get the cruise news delivered to your cabin, and this includes the full programme of entertainment for the day. So let's take a look at what was on offer during our sea day. The those who are early risers can of course get first dibs on the sunbeds, or be the only ones in the hot tubs, or take in some exercise, or even use the running track, or even the gym.
If you're like us though, this is an opportunity for a lie-in, to sleep off the previous night's wine and cocktails.
A leisurely late breakfast maybe. We're loving the omelette station in the buffet though. Delicious.
Surely getting up this late means we won't get a sunbed.
But amazingly, we did find sunbeds in a good position. So time to set up shop here and admire the view. And what a view it was. So time to grab a beer then, and sit down and read a book in the Canary sunshine.
The pool deck itself was busy though, and the busy programme of entertainment was keeping everyone engaged. Those some distance from the stage were able to watch on the big screen. The fun cookery demonstration showcased speciality dining menus and gave us all a laugh.
And the interview with the captain gave us an insight into what sort of character does this for a living.
And this was all before lunch. Did someone say lunch? I must be starving.
So let's look at the lunch menu for the buffet. And the verdict?
Yum! So there was plenty going on around the ship in the afternoon, and not just on the pool deck. But dance couple Nicholas and Melissa entertained us after lunch before returning to our sunbeds. Amazing! They were still free.
Some quizzes before soloist Ella belted out tunes to get our feet tapping. And this was a very chilled and relaxing afternoon indeed. But afternoons on Marella also mean an afternoon tea, and there's no keeping Nettie away from that.
So I toddled off to the marketplace to enjoy a scrumptious and tasty afternoon tea with scones, sandwiches, tasty sausage rolls, vegetable dips, and a good cup of Yorkshire tea, of course. What's not to like? Unless you're Simon.
Well, you see, a decent cup of coffee and a cookie in the coffee pot is more my kind of thing. And I entered the competition to win the cruise map whilst I was there. Then we piled into the Squid and Anchor for the toughest quiz of the cruise, which turned out to be the most accurate description any cruise line has ever given anything. 3 out of 15? Abysmal.
So back to the cabin to get changed before heading out for a meal. Actually, we haven't stopped eating and drinking since we got up this morning.
So what is a sea day like on Marella Explorer 2? Well, for us, it's been rather gluttonous.
So tonight's meal was a British-themed restaurant called Piccadilly's. Show us the menu then.
So this restaurant is included within the cruise fare, and first served us fancy coloured breads before making us wait what seemed forever for slightly undercooked fish and chips for me and Matt, and rather tasty beef and Yorkshire pudding for Nettie.
The food took so long to come, we had to skip dessert in order to get to the theatre in time for the show, which was Rockology. We'd seen this previously on other cruises, and this show includes a live band too.
This was a pulsating and foot-tapping exploration of all things rock, with dance routines supported cleverly by the live performances of the house band The Collective. Great fun, but of course this show needs a proper Cooks Explore show review. So we've just seen Rockology.
We have,
again.
yes.
Nettie, our show aficionado, go for it. What's the review?
Well, I really enjoyed the show tonight. It really helps because it's got a live band in it, and the live band just brings it up the next notch. They were brilliant, singing and dancing. I loved the Kate Bush one. She was fantastic, and they even had some aerials coming down, which really, really helped. I really loved it. It was really good.
Ooh, high praise indeed. Better than the other night.
It was, yeah.
So, second time cruise on Matt. Rockology, first time you've seen it. What do you think?
Yeah, first time I've seen it. I think it'll go places, to be honest with you. Like,
you liked
reviews on it are top 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10?
Yeah, 9 out of 10. But every song I knew, I could sing along to. And again, like the dancing and the choreography was on the ball. Like, again, another 9.
Awesome, good review.
And now for the grumpy one.
So Rockology, we've seen it a couple of times, and these sort of, when we've seen it before, it's always been filled with things that these kind of dance acts shouldn't go anywhere near. But these guys, they pulled off a couple of the real tricky ones tonight. I've really got to give a lot of credit to the Kate Bush Wuthering Heights sequence. You know, nobody should go anywhere near that. It's sacrilege, but she actually did a really good job and thought it was really well done. And the Chain by Fleetwood Mac, I thought they actually pulled that off actually particularly well. It's not my thing, and there's full of dance moves that you wonder you'd never see in a mosh pit, but you know, it was a bit of fun, and I probably did enjoy it more than I think I did, although the wine did help.
Matt then took himself to bed, and Si and I revisited the Squid and Anchor and laughed at the 3 couples participating in the couples quiz. Have you met your match?
This was fun, and we were glad that it wasn't us up there. We'd had enough embarrassment when we'd been caught out in a similar quiz on the Spectrum of the Seas last year.
Then into the Indigo Club for more cocktails and a brilliant set from musical soloist Ella and her James Bond themed set. This and a few more drinks was a fabulous way to end our sea day on board Marella Explorer 2. When we docked in Arrecife in Lanzarote, I didn't know I'd be dancing like a crazy lady within just a few hours. But this had been a cruise full of surprises.
Marella Explorer 2 had sailed through overnight storms and arrived in Arrecife ahead of schedule, but the sun was shining, and what a great start to the day this was. A leisurely wake up followed by another hearty breakfast. Marella had docked us in the Far Cruise dock. This is a good 1 hour's walk from the main town area, whereas the nearer dock is just 10 to 15 minutes away and was occupied by Mein Schiff.
Marella laid on a shuttle bus to the nearer cruise dock for £7 per person for a return ticket, so we disembarked the ship and boarded our transfer bus. This was a 10-minute bus journey, dropping us at the tourist information by the near cruise dock. Return buses would collect us from here also.
We walked from here into Arrecife Centre, and the strong winds were a notable feature. No wonder the ship rocked last night.
Matt was in good form this morning, and it was great to see him improving.
We walked alongside the pretty harbourside area with its many bars and cafes, and we took in this most pretty of settings. The whalebone sculpture stands out, and this was a great place to sit or stand and just soak up the atmosphere.
I was transfixed with a bird that was trying to catch its lunch from the harbour. It seemed to be spoiled for choice, but it clearly had dietary requirements and waited and waited and waited for the perfect catch, only to completely miss its target. Fussy eaters, hey?
We walked into the main shopping street, and Matt was on the hunt for a new shirt. Nettie, on the other hand, was easily distracted.
Not covered in caramel.
Is it nice?
Really nice.
3 samples. Do you want to get some?
I have. I've just got one.
All right. I think the blue one.
The blue one.
Yeah.
We noticed characters walking through the town centre in fancy dress. Wonder what the occasion is. Then a nice little coffee shop beckoned us in.
Okay, so we're here in Arrecife, in Lanzarote, and it's very windy. It's very windy indeed. We've just been walking through the town, done a bit of shopping, found a nice little coffee shop where we can have a nice little bit of coffee. Matt's here too, there he is. And, just enjoying a little bit of the sunshine if it had breezy. The town was fairly busy with loads of people in fancy dress. We walked out to see the views across to the Castillo de la San Gabriel, and these were spectacular.
More and more people were gathering. Matt asked a lady in one of the shops what the occasion was. Carnival time, of course. And we had got lucky and had timed our trip into town to coincide with the main carnival parade.
So we headed along the seafront to find a good spot to watch the parade, and we could hear the music in the distance coming our way, and we were getting really excited, and we got into the rhythm and groove as the parade approached us.
Let us show you some of the carnival highlights.
Stroke of luck, today happens to be Carnival Day here in Arrecife and Lanzarote, and we've stumbled on the most incredible parade. Outfits, marching bands, drumming, dancing, amazing. What a brilliant spectacle, loving it. We watched the entire parade, it was such great fun, and then we walked further along the esplanade, still buzzing from the spectacle of the carnival.
We kept walking until we encountered the wonderful Playa del Reducto, a beautiful expanse of golden sand in a sheltered bay. This is such a lovely beach, and the last time we were here we enjoyed a swim and paddle.
This time though, we thought a spot of lunch was what we needed, so we found a bar and ordered some sangria. Well, when in Spain, and this was, well, we better give you a sangria review, I suppose.
Sangria review?
Sangria review. Wow, it's delicious. Definitely get my vitamin C in here.
Olives then arrived on the table too, and Nettie doesn't need asking twice.
Some 4-cheese pizza, yum, and garlic bread, yum yum yum. This was delicious.
And we sat and enjoyed the setting before starting the gentle walk back. It's such a pretty seafront, and also the costume characters would suddenly emerge randomly and give us a laugh.
We could hear a band playing. Cool. And they were dressed as minions. Double cool. And they are playing ska music. Triple cool. Be rude not to enjoy this.
And Nettie channeled her inner two-tone minion. She was having a lot of fun. As we explored more of the town centre, we noticed other music stages too, and so many people were dressed brilliantly and were enjoying the party.
Matt began to tire, and towards the end of the afternoon we made our way back to the shuttle bus, where we were transported back to the ship.
Once on board, Matt decided to grab some sleep, and Nettie and I enjoyed a drink and the sunset too.
We collected Matt when it was time for dinner and headed to the buffet, which was a US themed menu and was rather tasty.
After our meal, Matt wanted to give Nettie and I some space on Valentine's Day, and he took himself off for a vape, and we didn't see him again until the morning. And we took ourselves into the Squid and Anchor, where we reflected on our day in Arrecife. It's been a brilliant day today in Arrecife, in Lanzarote.
Oh, it's amazing. There was a carnival on, wasn't there?
Such fun.
Absolutely amazing.
Absolutely
Brilliant
buzzing.
music.
Oh yeah. That
Brilliant
ska
music.
band all dressed as the Minions were brilliant, weren't they?
They were fantastic, weren't they?
Oh, absolutely hilarious
Yeah.
fun. Really enjoyed it. Turned out to be a much better day than we thought.
Yeah.
It's Valentine's Day though. But
Yeah.
with my brother, so we've had a meal with him tonight. He's gone for a vape. I don't know whether he's joining us or not, but there's a Valentine's quiz on in the Squid and Anchor. So we're going to do that, aren't we?
Yeah, we are, yeah.
And not being funny, but we're going to have a special post-Valentine's Day treat tomorrow. So, looking forward to that. Anyway, stay with us and see how we get on with this Valentine's Day quiz. So the Valentine's quiz was a music quiz of love songs. Is it bad that we did so badly at this? Still, 36 years of each other's company, so we must be doing something right. 8 out of 20 though, that is pretty bad.
This was a chilled night enjoying cocktails and wine in the Squid and Anchor. It's such a great bar, and the bar staff are hilarious fun.
House band The Collective then played a Valentine's set, and Nettie and I then decided we'd have an early night. Well, it was Valentine's night. Our week in the Canaries on Marella Explorer 2 was flying past, and on day 6 we had docked in Puerto del Rosario in Fuerteventura.
It was a Sunday, and on previous trips we knew that this port would effectively close on a Sunday. But this day we would be pleasantly surprised. So what have you got planned then, guys?
Good morning from Fuerteventura, and Fuerteventura is windy again. It's always windy,
It's
isn't it?
always windy. This will be the third time we've been to Fuerteventura, and it's been windy every time.
Yeah. But the sun's out, so that's great. So we are here on Puerto del Rosario, and we're doing something different today because we're taking an excursion. We're going up to Corralejo at the top of the island, and that's got a special place for us, isn't it?
Yeah, we had 28 years ago, we had our honeymoon there.
Yeah, so we've been together 36 years.
Yeah,
got married.
this year, yeah.
28 years ago we got married and we had our honeymoon in Corralejo. So we're going to go back and revisit some old haunts. We've not been back since, have we? So,
we haven't.
So this will be a little trip down memory lane for us. It is the day after Valentine's Day, so it's kind of like a belated Valentine's Day sort of present to ourselves to go back. And looking forward to that. Matt's definitely improving. He's still a bit fragile. We walked quite a bit yesterday in Arrecife, and I think we probably did too much for him.
Yeah, so, he's a bit worn out last night, wasn't he?
But he's still a bit delicate after his health issue earlier on in the week. So we are, although we're obviously going to Corralejo, we're just going to make sure we look after him and make sure he's okay still.
Yeah.
Anyway, join us as we revisit some old haunts in Corralejo.
Yeah.
So after breakfast we disembarked the ship to board our bus to Corralejo, and boy was it windy, and we did have to hold on to our hats quite literally. Once aboard our bus we were spirited out of the town northwards and along the coast with some dramatic views of rough seas lashing at the bays and coves on the rocky shoreline. Then suddenly the rocks turned to sand and we entered one of Fuerteventura's natural wonders, the Corralejo sand dunes. This vast expanse of sand is an impressive sight, and we had explored them fully on our honeymoon 28 years ago.
Arriving in Corralejo, the bus dropped us off on the outskirts of the town, and at this point we realised that we didn't recognise the place. Wow, hasn't it changed? And the area of shops, bars and businesses seemed to be a world away from the quaint old town that we remembered. So guys, what are you thinking?
It's great being back in Corralejo after 28 years. The drive up here took us through the famous Corralejo dunes, and we could have got off there and had a day on the beach, but with it being so windy, that definitely was a bad idea, we thought. Also, we remember from our honeymoon here discovering that those Corralejo dunes are full of nudists as well. Wasn't the sight we wanted to find on our honeymoon, to be honest. And probably not many nudists out there in this wind, but definitely didn't want to risk it today. And we were going to have a wander around the town and go down to the seafront and just have a mooch back and reminisce.
So the first thing we did after using the loo was to buy some snacks.
Right, cheese and bacon. Lemon and ginger sweets.
We wandered down through the town and headed towards the beach, and the memories came flooding back. And that view across to the Ile de Lobos, it's iconic, beautiful and totally breathtaking. We spent hours on this beach on our honeymoon. We swam, drank beer and chatted for what seemed like forever.
And somebody threw away all our hard-earned holiday money, didn't they, Si?
Ah yeah, well there was that. The wind just took it out of my hand. I was counting it to see if we could afford that posh volcano stone restaurant that you'd seen.
And the wind was just as strong today as it was on that fateful day, and Si was under strict orders to keep his wallet in his pocket. Oh, go on then. One photo and that's it. And then put it back in your wallet. Still, I knew then what I'd let myself in for. And I do love my Muppet.
Time then for some group photos, and we also tried to recreate some of the photos from our honeymoon too. We then walked along the paved and boarded beachfront walkway past restaurants and bars that were all so inviting.
Which to choose? It was beginning to feel like sangria time.
Nettie has spotted somewhere, yes? No? Yes? No? Okay. The volcanic nature of this place is shown in the beachfront rocks, where polygonal basalt columns can be seen. Not as quite as dramatic as the Giant's Causeway or just some jolly cliffs in Jeju, but still pretty cool, and I wanted to go and have a look.
Further round was an impressive sand sculpture of a dragon, and the Corralejo sign, which of course demands a photo of us all. Sculpture and street art appeared more and more as we approached the old town, and this was really now becoming familiar, bringing back happy memories.
We wandered into the old town itself, and this was where we decided to take a sangria break.
So Nettie, what's it like being back in Corralejo after 28 years?
Yeah, it's great. It's changed so much. It's so much more shopping area. And we couldn't find Volcano Stone, unfortunately.
I think that's
one
closed
of our
down.
favourite places. But yeah, amazing. Actually, the beach, gorgeous.
Just
really
as I remember
nice.
that.
Yeah.
Good, alright, nice to be here.
And the sangria was good. Cheers!
And more 4-cheese pizza arrived too. Yum! And we tucked in. Rested, fed and refreshed, we walked back up through the town, and Si scurried off to a shop. Guess what he came back with?
What have you got, Si?
Lemon gelato, of course, because a gelato a day keeps me.
We all treated ourselves and also browsed the shops too.
The 3.5 hours we were allowed here had just flown past, and we made our way back to the bus and headed back to Puerto del Rosario. It had been lovely to revisit Corralejo and all those memories, and we're so glad we came. And back in Puerto del Rosario, the sleepy Sunday we thought we'd left behind was anything but, however.
And the Carnival and Regatta was underway. We had again timed this perfectly, and as we stepped off the bus, the Carnival parade was underway, and the homemade boats were in the harbour.
This regatta was one of the most nuts things we've ever seen on a cruise holiday. Basically, you make a boat out of, well, anything really, it just has to float of course. You decorate it like a carnival float, you get dressed up in costumes and you chuck yourselves out into the harbour, where if you're lucky, other boats won't try and ram you or sink you.
This hilarious spectacle was quite something, and so entertaining we couldn't stop laughing. Brilliant! What must they put in the food round here?
Just check out some of this madness. And like in Arrecife, the Carnival parade was also an amazing spectacle. Let's also show you some of those amazing performers.
Was brilliant, and we slowly made our way back to the ship.
Back aboard, Matt grabbed some more sleep. He had overdone it again today and he seemed exhausted. He'd been so unwell at the start of the trip, we were perhaps a bit optimistic about what he could do once ashore.
In the evening we grabbed some group photos and opted to eat in the Italian themed restaurant Vista. This is also included in the cruise fare and isn't specialty dining. So let's take a look at the menu then.
The starters soon arrived, and they were really tasty.
What have you gone for, Si?
Pork meatballs.
Ooh, they look nice. You'll have to let us know what you think.
Yeah.
Si and I both had the lamb, which was delicious, and Matt had the lasagna, which he woofed down.
Puddings arrived, but again we found we needed to dash to the theatre, so we were in time for the evening show, which was the ABBA life story.
In 1969, they met Agneta Falskog, an already successful solo singer, and Annie Fripp.
A crew appreciation performance followed, and this was as always wonderful. It was a pleasure to once again applaud Marella's hard-working crew. They are awesome.
After the show, Matt was clearly exhausted and he took himself back to his cabin. Nettie and I found somewhere to sit and give our show reviews of the ABBA life story. So we've just seen ABBA life story. Nettie, our show aficionado, go for it.
Yeah, I enjoyed the show. It was really good. The seats where we were right down near the front, so the sound wasn't so good, the sound quality, and I think it's our seat position, I think, really, why it wasn't so good. But yeah, I really enjoyed it, and I did sort of keep awake, even though I was very tired.
All right, okay, yeah, I did see you nodding off.
Yeah, I did like the end though, when they brought all the staff out to say thank you to all the staff for all what they've done for us all through the week. So that was a really good finish off.
All right, thanks for that.
And for the grumpy one.
Well, okay, look, there are some things you shouldn't touch, like Queen, like Led Zeppelin, like Pink Floyd, who ABBA probably is in that league, to be honest, and it's hard. I mean, they had a tough job on their hands, and how they would do something like that without making it sound like they were a tribute act at a village festival at the end of the day. But they managed to pull it off. Very talented, although I would say the strongest male singer didn't get one of the lead roles, which I thought was a bit surprising. But yeah, enjoyable. But I agree with Nettie, the sound in the theatre wasn't the best, but also agree with Nettie that the crew appreciation at the end was really nice, because the crew on the ship have been absolutely amazing, absolutely first class service. So a final show, ABBA life story, don't touch it.
There was another full programme of entertainment on board Marella Explorer 2, so let's take a look at what was on.
We opted once again for our favourite indigo bar, where once again the collective were belting out pop hit after pop hit. More wine and cocktails sung until we ourselves were ready to drop.
Well, that's it. Another great day here on this cruise, this Marella Explorer 2 cruise. We've been to Corralejo, we've been in Fuerteventura, we've seen a regatta. What a fantastic day, a good meal tonight in Vista. Another great show, brilliant music in the Indigo Club. Yeah, this is Marella, it's consistently good. It doesn't change much. It's pretty much the same. There's a few differences, but it's pretty much the same as every other Marella cruise we've done, and we've done a few now. But we love it. It's good. Anyway, turning in now, time for bed.
La Palma de Gran Canaria would sadly be the final stop on this cruise. So breakfast to kick things off, and time to think about how we will make the most of this final day.
Oh, good morning.
Morning.
Gran Canaria.
And
Exciting.
It's the final day of the cruise. Well, that's not exciting. That's sad.
That's not exciting, no.
Never mind. So, we're late up this morning. Matt was a bit sort of jaded last night, so we've had a lie-in, late breakfast, and we've got plenty of time here. We're not sailing away till 9:30 tonight on our final day of the cruise, so we've got time to go and mooch around the Palmas. And we've not explored it before, so we're looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Not too much planned, just a bit of a mooch, taking it easy. We've got to remember that we just need a bit of, like the rest of this holiday, it's been fairly chilled, hasn't it?
It has, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so stick with us.
Looking forward to it. It's supposed to be 23 degrees today, so I think the hottest day of the cruise. So
Certainly doesn't feel like that now.
not at the moment, no. It's a bit windy, as you can see, but
It's been a feature of the week, isn't it, the wind? But
yes.
not been before, so stick with us and see what we can find.
Yay!
We disembarked and it was a 10 to 15 minute walk off the dock, through the cruise terminal, around the harbour towards the large shopping centre that seemed to be swallowing up cruise passengers. We dodged this and soon found ourselves in the maritime park next to the bus station.
This park had signage suggesting routes to the various attractions in the city. Then some discussion about what we wanted to do, and we agreed we would try and make our way into the old town area of Vegueta. And to get there, we decided we'd head to the adjacent bus station. This seemed the obvious choice.
We descended into the underground bus station, but trying to work out which was the right bus was very difficult. A friendly chap called George from Derby was in the same predicament. Any luck, George?
Any luck? No, it's just, I've said Old Town and he said it's not going. He said
But George had the fab idea of sharing a taxi, and this was genius. And before long we were speeding towards the old town area, with the total cost of the taxi being only €10.
We said goodbye to George as we were dropped off outside the cathedral by the picturesque Plaza de Santa Ana.
So we've made it into Vegueta, the old town here at La Palma, and we've met a very nice chap at the bus station called George from Derby. Thank you, George, because we were all scratching our heads trying to work out how to get the bus. It seemed a bit incomprehensible. We thought bus 12 was going to take us down here, and then when we got on bus 12 they said nope, you don't want to get this bus. So we were kind of a bit lost, and then George was in the same boat, so we agreed that we'd share a cab. It's cost us €10 from the shopping centre down to the old town area, and he's dropped us right in front of this absolutely gorgeous cathedral and this beautiful square here in Vegueta in La Palma. And so this looks a really quaint area, and we'll go and have a look around. The Cathedral of Santa Ana is a striking building and was built in the year 1500. It costs €6 to enter, and you can also, for an extra fee, climb the bell tower for views across the city. This wasn't for us though, and we decided that we'd try and explore this historic district with its cobbled streets and 15th century architecture.
Tourist information signs indicated some of the sights and attractions there were in this area.
We crossed the busy main road through the centre of this district and headed towards the elegant Gabinete Literario building. It's a beautiful building and is now a library.
We wandered through more of the pretty cobbled streets and we found ourselves in a major shopping area, so a perfect time to stop for coffee and cake.
Then we set off again, looping back towards the old town, and soon we encountered the Art Deco style theatre of Pérez Galdós. Crossing back across the busy road, we re-entered the old town with its striking cobbled streets and courtyards, and we decided that we'd explore the old town market.
This was a lovely old undercover market, and the fresh produce on offer looked delicious. The sights and smells in this place were quite something, and I decided I would go home with a little treat.
Some honey rum.
Yum!
Yay!
Then more exploring, and we walked past the Columbus Museum through courtyard after courtyard. The architecture in this place is simply beautiful. It was just wonderful to amble and mooch through this maze of quaint cobbled streets and be transported back in time to when Spanish colonists were establishing this great city. This really is picture perfect, and the Plaza de Espiritu Santo is something else again, with its striking fountain and small planted garden.
Then back to the cathedral and some group pictures. Where next? And we decided we'd head back towards the cruise port, but get dropped off at the beach. And after another €10 taxi ride, we were dropped off in the busy shopping street next to the city's famous beach, the Playa de las Canteras.
We walked out onto the seafront esplanade and enjoyed the sight of people having fun on this vast expanse of golden sand.
This was a busy beach though, and certainly had plenty of interesting sights.
But we weren't in the mood for a sit on the beach, and after a good long walk down the esplanade, we decided we'd head back to the ship. This was more than enough walking for Matt, and back on board Marella Explorer 2, we decided to grab a late lunch from the snack shack and sit in the sunshine and enjoy a beer by the pool. and read some more of our books too.
We lazed for the rest of the afternoon. Nice. Our final meal was taken in the marketplace buffet, where some tasty roast chicken was the meal of choice. And after, we decided we'd put the killer question to Matt.
Okay, second time cruise, and Matt, it's time to give a verdict on your first ever Marella cruise. Just general impressions, mate. Did you enjoy yourself? Had a good holiday?
Yeah, I did, 100%. It was a bit worrying to start with because I wasn't feeling too good health-wise for some reason or another, but after the first day, it surpassed, and my health got a lot better, and we did excursions off the boat, which was very exciting. We've seen a lot of interesting things, and the food was amazing. It's only got better with each day that was gone on, and our entertainment shows and the drinks that we've had at the bar and everything else has all been excellent.
Very good. Any particular highlights, mate? Anything you've really liked? Has it been the food that's been the highlight on board, or the shows? Or?
No, I think like off the boat, going visiting and seeing the Carnival processions.
That's good, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's good. So, got to ask you, killer question here. Obviously, you've sailed on P&O once. You've sailed on Marella once. Preference?
Definitely P&O.
P&O wins, yeah?
Yeah, P&O wins.
Any particular reason?
Just more choice as far as food's concerned.
More food choices?
Yeah, a lot more to do with like private restaurants eating.
Yeah. We did the
Epicurean bars, music, entertainment.
Okay, and just for clarity, you did the Iona, didn't you?
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, there you go. So, Matt's got this enviable position to have sailed once on P&O and once on Marella, and P&O wins. Thank you, Matt, for your honest opinion, mate.
Okay.
Glad you've had a good holiday, bud.
Nice one.
We then retired to the Squid and Anchor for another quiz, and we did much better this time, and only 1 point behind the winner too. There was, of course, a full programme of entertainment on again. Let's take a look, and how do we not see that there was a silent disco on?
More live music and cocktails, and then we needed to pack our cases and put them outside our cabin ready for our journey home in the morning. Matt was shattered and we took the early night option.
And in the morning we were heading home, and we had to exit our cabin by 8 AM, so we collected Matt and headed for a final breakfast. Then we basked once more in the Canarian sunshine and waited for our allotted time to disembark.
At our allotted time, we disembarked and collected our cases from the terminal in Tenerife before being bussed back to the airport. And that was that. Our Marella Canarian Flavours cruise had come to an end. And what a crazy week it had been. And so different from our expectations before the cruise.
Matt's illness on the first night was so worrying, and at one point we thought we would be needing to get him off the ship for some specialist medical attention. He thankfully recovered and didn't need that, but it did mean that our holiday had a different focus from what we had planned. We had though had a great time in these brilliant ports, and ensured we all had great experiences without doing anything too strenuous. And fate, it seemed, wanted to help by laying on some incredible carnivals to entertain us. What fun!
Thanks for coming with us, and why not join us in our next adventure?
So if you've liked this video, just let us know in the comments below. Really appreciate that.
And please like and subscribe.